Hi there. Welcome to Aaxonix. Uh, I am here just to showcase to you a small plugin what I have built. It's a widget inside the CRM. Uh, you know, as you configure the CRM and as you use it over time, you keep making changes to it, right? And there is no good way right now to understand how the CRM is configured. So, for example, a new administrator comes in, someone new comes in, or even for the existing team, after 6 months here, we really don't have a way to understand what is configured where, what is getting used, what is not getting used, how are my users configured, when were they configured. It's very difficult to understand all of that. So to solve this problem, I thought I'll come up with a small tool. I call it the CRM Explorer. I've just integrated it with the AI tools as well, just in case you want to chat with it, understand the schema, talk to it. You can do that all. Uh, so, here it is. I'll just present it to you. I would request your feedback on it and let me know how it goes. So here we are on the screen of Zoho CRM. This is my test account. So what I'll do is I'll go to setup. Um I'll go to widgets. Now we need to install this widget. This is a one-time setup. What you need to do. I'll create a new widget. I'll name this as CRM Explorer. I'll select what type it is. I'll say it's a web tab, and I'll do a hosting as external. So you need to enter a base URL here. So I'll just paste the base URL and I'll click on save. Now we are done. We have set up the widget. What we need to do now is display this widget inside the CRM tabs, right? So what we would do is we would go to web tabs. So you can find this. I had searched this, so it's come here, but otherwise you can find this under the module setting. Okay. So I'll click on web tab and I'll create a new web tab. I'll name it again as CRM Explorer. I'll say I need to show a widget in the web tab. I'll install this widget. You can, if you want, you can add more roles to it. You can see this, and I click on save. So we are done. We have the widget created. But the last thing we have to do is we have to go and create a connection. Okay. So we go to developer space connections and we create a connection. Now, I have already created a connection here. You can simply go and say create connection, Zoho CRM, and create a connection here. So this is a connection which is already created. What scope to give here? It's there in the documentation. You can look at the scope and you can give the scope here. Okay. Now, once this connection is done, it's better if you have the same name. It's automatic. Otherwise, you would have to manually add the link name to the widget later on. Okay, so I have this name, so I would not have to add it. But in case you give a different name to the connector, you would have to go and set it up in the widget later on. Okay, so you go back. Let's go. Let's see here if the widget is come. It's come here, CRM Explorer. And okay, let me refresh this once. There you go. So here, since I had already made a scan, it directly took me in. So what happens is the system scans all the data. It understands what all fields are there, what are the API names, what are records are there in the system, which all workflows are there in the system. All of that data is something which the system captures. And then you would be able to see a dashboard like this, which tells me, okay, what is the schema quality, what is the data integrity, what is the automation maturity in this, how many modules are there in total, how many fields are there, how many workflows are there, any critical aspects which needs to be highlighted, any warnings which are there, any other information, how is the configuration done over a period of time. So this is the dashboard. Then we have the entity explorer, wherein you can go and look at each entity. For example, you want to look at leads and say that, okay, how many fields does leads have on it? It says 67 fields, out of which 13 are custom. There is one which is required, and then it gives me a nice split of what type of fields are there. It tells me what all automations are there on the lead module, what all macros are running in there, what all fields are there, what is the API names, what is the type. If it is custom, then it will give me the details as well. So all of that data is something what you would be able to see. You can explore it entity by entity or module by module here. Okay. Then we have the ER graph, wherein you see the whole entity relationship diagram. In fact, here you can go and see different things. For example, you want to see a relationship between or a path between accounts and say deal. Okay, so if I say find a path, it will actually tell me. So account name, deal is the path. So it tells me the path. It gives me exact relationship. If you want to focus on something, you can focus on something. For example, I want to focus on a particular node, I can focus on that. If I want to see lookups, I can see lookups. If I don't want to do that, I can define how many hops I want to see, one single hop or multiple hop, or I can simply have a radial view of it. So this is the graph diagram where you see, okay, how are things or how are modules connected to each other. Then we have the field audit, wherein you can have the picklist audit, which says that, okay, for a lead source, which is there in three modules: contact, leads, and deals. What are the values? So we have all the values in contact. Okay, these values are not there, which are there in leads. So it's the same picklist with different values. So you can actually have a good comparison to sanitize your data. Okay. The data flow is based on assumption, so it tells you. Okay, before we go to the data flow, so we also have the heat maps, which tells me about all the modules, the fields, how many custom, how many lookups, how many pick list, all of that detail. We have schema drift. We have, when I say schema drift, you can define, okay, lead versus sales order, and I'll see, it will tell me, okay, what is the schema drift between these two. So what is the schema of lead, what is the schema of sales order, and it compares it. Now we have any conflicts which are there, any layout analysis which is there. So we have the whole layout analysis with us, which talks about. So right now I just have one layout. So we'll have, what all data is there on the layout. Is there an empty section? All the details you'll see here. You have conversion mapping. So this is basically lead to contact, deal, and account. Okay, so how is the conversion mapping happening? If there is some data which you're losing in the conversion, you'll come to know here. Then we have the PII exposure. So what accounts have exposure to personal information, or what modules have exposure to personal information, is something what we'll see here. We have data flow, wherein you see, okay, what are the entry points of data, what is the processing pipeline of data, what are the outputs of the data, and then what are the reference data, which is like activities and things which are happening around that data. Then we have the automation map. So in the automation map, I come to know the different triggers. So on create, how many automations are there? On edit, how many automations are there? Action types, all of that details you will see. You also see workflow deep dive, wherein you see, okay, how many workflows are there. Right now I just have two, but you might have multiple. So you can see, okay, what all conditions are happening, when are they, what functions are they calling, all of that data you would see here. Then we have macros. So in case you have macros, you will see, okay, these are the macros in the system. Then you have schedules and buttons. So in case there are some custom buttons created, or if there are scheduled actions which are there, which is a workflow action in this case, you see all of those details. And if there are dead automations, so something which is not been used at all, okay, there are zero triggers in the last 90 days, right? So you understand what are the dead automations in your system. And if there are any trigger conflicts, which I don't have right now, but if there are any trigger conflicts, you can view them here. Now anytime you need help for a specific module, we have this small question mark here. You can click and you can understand what exactly the module does. Okay, or holistically we have a question mark here as well, so you can go and anytime take help. Or we have the larger help document which you can access from here. Now, similarly, we have the blueprint studio, wherein we understand, okay, what are the blueprints? So right now we have a blueprint for lead and task. So for lead, this is the blueprint, and it tells me exactly what the blueprint does. Okay. Uh, f- so it gives me step-by-step details of it. For task as well, it will give me exactly what the blueprint does. We have, registry for functions. Now, understand, Zoho doesn't allow us to access the functions directly. but we can understand functions, not the data within the functions, but at least the names which are triggered or attached to any workflow. So you'll get all those names here, and you would also get which workflows they are referring to. In case you want to understand a call graph of which function is called by what workflows, you can get it from here as well. So you come to know, okay, this is a test function which is called by workflow one. The test one function as well is called by workflow one. And if you want to see a diagram, you can get it from here as well. So if you have too many workflows, diagram might not work for you. You might have to look at it this way itself. Email templates. Now this is, I don't have much data. It's a dummy system, but if you have data in this, you come to know all of the emails which are getting triggered and their statistics around here, like how many are getting sent, how many are getting opened, how many are getting clicked, all of that data. Then we have the governance, wherein we see the overview, the module access, the role hierarchy, if in case you have set up a role, any restricted fields you have, or the profile comparison. So if you want to compare multiple profiles, you can compare it from here straight away. Then you have your orphan risk, which if in case there is something which is orphan, the timeline of users, the profile distribution of how many profiles have what. And then we have a lot of analysis as well, wherein we can have a change checker, right? For example, I want to check, okay, safe to remove or not. So I'll say, okay, for module 3, safe to remove or not. Okay. I want to do a risk check. For example, I want to do, okay, what is the risk if I modify something on invoice? So if I click on that, it actually tells me, okay, what is the risk if I modify? What are the dependencies out there? Okay, what will break? There are so many dependent fields out there. Okay, so you can actually go and check all the risk factors, uh, and then take a decision of whether you want to modify something there or not. Then we have the configuration review. So it tells you, okay, what's there in drop downs, what not. For example, there are 54 missing values in drop down. It will tell you all the details of those values. uh, you have permission setup, so in case you have multiple permissions, you can. Naming conversions, so if there are some naming conventions which are wrong, it highlights to you. And then we have the lead mapping and the layouts. Okay, so if there is any configuration which looks like off, it will actually highlight to you. uh, Dead weight is something which is basically, there is something which needs to be cleaned, right? So it's an orphan template, it's not getting used. So you can go and clean all of those templates because it's simply there, but it's not getting used. Then we have the module comparison. So in case you want to compare two modules, for example, I'm comparing leads with sales order. So it gives me the whole comparison of what's there on sales order and what's there on the lead. Okay. And then it also tells me, okay, what all automations are running here. Org level config will simply tell you the org details of, what the org is about and what it is not about. Okay. uh, Now, with all of this data, what happens is you did not see the AI till now. What I'll do is I'll just show this to you. You can go to settings, and you would need to enable the AI. AI needs some additional permissions. It's there. You would need to add these permissions to your connect the connection what you have made. Okay, so earlier you had made a connection by CRM Audit connector, right? So you would have to go and add this setting so that it can read the data much better, and if you want to use AI assist. So once you do this, once you check this box and you click on connect, it will automatically scan again, and it will scan the whole structure again to give you a new tab which will be an AI tab. So it's scanning now, uh, and you see the scan is complete. I have the fresh data with me, and I have a new tab here called as AI Assist. Okay. Now, for the AI Assist, you need to set up a Claude key or any AI key. So I simply go to this new tab, which is the AI. I select what key I want to set. So I'll say I have a Google Gemini key, so I'll just use that. I'll put the key here, and I will say list available modules. So let me see if it gives me. Okay, let's use Gemini Flash if that's not there. Okay, I need to save the API key first. Go back here and list available modules. So it just fetched the modules for me. So these are the ones which are available. So I'll just use the 2.0 Flash. I just copy it. I can just select it and save this. Okay, so that's it. So I'll refresh my screen since I have just set the key. Going back, going to AI assistant, and then the Gemini key is set and live here. Okay, now with all of this data what I have right now, I can just talk to the AI and understand the data. For example, I can just ask it how many users were created in this month. So what it'll do is it'll check the data and say, okay, no users were created in April. I'll say last month. Okay, so again, it'll scan, it'll check the data, and it'll say no users were created. Okay, the last user creation record was in February 2026. So it actually tells me, it knows exactly when things happen. Okay, so can you give me a COMP comparison table between lead and contact module? So I'll just ask it, and actually it'll go look for the data and it'll give me a comparison table about the schema. So if you want graphs, you can tell it. If you want to see any details, you can ask it. This application is completely free of cost. I'm not charging anything for this. I just need your reviews to understand what do you think about this application. Do you please use it, and let me know if this is something which is helpful. By the way, if you need any help or documentation, you have this help button here, or you have this help here. It'll give you the whole documentation.